Well, good morning, campers. Saturday morning. Beautiful Saturday. Look, we got a little bit of snow last night, it looks like. So today what I'm going to do before I take off with this thing, obviously I'm going to clean it off a little bit. A little snow on it. Look, you can tell. But it's about 20 degrees above zero this morning. And before we run out, I want to go through a few things with you guys. Some pre-ride things that you want to check out each time before you take off on the snowmobile. So stick around. I'll get this thing cleaned off and we'll take a look under the hood and show you what you need to look at before you go out on a ride. And by the magic of video editing, the sled is all cleaned off now. Alright, so we're just going to stick the key in it, grab a hold of the throttle, and roll, right? No, we're not going to do it that way. First of all, make sure your kill switches are all operational. Tether switch is very important. Make sure that that's going to work in case you fall off, and you do need to attach that to yourself because you never know. Make sure all your switches work. You're going to pop in the hood and forgive the messy engine compartment. Anyway, first thing you want to look at, and you should be doing this all of the time, shut your fuel off when you park it. Just avoids a lot of problems. Trust me. Don't ask me how I know, just trust me. So that I'm going to leave off for the moment. Back here you see the coolant bottle. Make sure you got enough coolant in there. That's very important because it's a liquid cooled sled. It's a 1995 Indy 440. Your sled may be different, but if it's liquid cooled, you want to make sure you got liquid in there. Make sure your antifreeze is up. And very important here is the oil injection. Make sure you have injection oil. You can look at the side of the bottle, but I always like to pop the top off and take a look down inside there to make sure I got plenty of oil in there. You do not want to run out of oil in these things. The engine will not be happy with you. Check your throttle for action. Make sure that's going to work. And now we might be ready to start it up. Now we turn the fuel on. Give it a little bit of choke. Turn the key on. Make sure all your kill switches are on. Now you can give it a pull or two. And I may need to put the camera on a tripod for this, so hang on just a moment. Okay, camera's on a tripod. Now let's try starting this thing up. Make sure our choke's set. Fuel is on. Got one pop. Go to the second position on the choke. There we go. Now, something important you have to remember is when you first start this up, you don't want to be starting to hammer on the throttle right away. You gotta let things warm up in there a little bit. You give it a few RPMs just to see that, make sure it's happy, but you don't want to go revving the hell out of it. And after just a few seconds, you can usually turn the choke completely off on these. This one tends to be real active on the choke, so you have to be careful with it. But so now it's up and running. Let it sit and warm up for a little while before you go for a ride on it. Let everything get all worked in. So while it's warming up, I'm going to go in the house, put my riding gear on, get ready to go for a little rip, strap the GoPro on, and take you guys along. Some things you want to have with you before you take off on your ride is a good helmet. You want to have a decent helmet with a dual shield or dual lens windshield on it. Kind of prevents from fogging. Another thing that really helps a lot is having a breath deflector in the helmet. That's this little deal right here. And inside, keeps your breath from blowing up on the shield and fogging it up. Decent pair of warm gloves, absolutely essential. Now this sled has handlebar heaters on it, but they can only do so much. Up a little bit. And one more thing we want to do before we take off, of course, we want to start it up. Make sure that your safety devices work. Make sure this kill switch shuts it off. Make sure when you pull the tether, make sure that engine stops when that tether comes off. That could save your life. You may think it's a pain in the butt putting the tether on, but believe me, you want to have that on for that one time you might need it. Alright, so you're on the sled, you're ready to go. Let's just hit the throttle and roll. No, before you do that, you want to put your helmet on. Make sure you fit. Run by the straps like that, so you don't get caught up. You're going to be able to hear me after this. So once the helmet's on, you get gloves on, hook your safety cover up. I'm going to do that right now. I like to hook it around the wristband, or the armband. That's hooked up, put that out. This way, if anything goes wrong on the trail, you will have a kill switch attached to you and will shut your machine down. Alright, let's pull the helmet on, put the gloves on, and go.